Vincent, how complicated has it been to get this hotel ready for for hotel quarantine?
So hotel has been largely open throughout the pandemic. We've been looking after international air crews, and we've also had some NHS key workers as well. So we were open and operating. So really it was a change of operating, going from grab and go and room service to this new quarantine level. So it's been quite easy to adapt, really.
Talk me through some of the measures that you've got in place. Let's start with check-in. How's that going to work?
People will be arriving off different flights, so there's a level of the arrival being staggered. So as people arrive, we've got a waiting area for them should we not be able to check them in straight away. But the check-in process is very quick, so we've got it down to about 2 minutes. They have to answer a series of questions in relation to their quarantine, and then they go straight to the room. So it's quite a simple process.
Tell me about catering, because you've obviously we've got 710 rooms here,
yeah,
and everybody's going to have 3 meals a day. So how's that working?
Yeah, so that's the big thing that we've been working on, really. So we've done a menu over 10 days. It's got choice, it's balanced, it's got an element of dietary requirements, vegetarian, and it's a nice balanced menu. So we've got this linked to a QR code where people can scan the menu, make their choices for the period that they're here, and then they get a menu back daily telling them exactly what they've ordered. Now, as well as that, we've got normal room service available, so people can also go from the normal room service menu. But the preparations have been really interesting. So we've had to check every meal for our ability to maintain social distancing within the kitchen during preparation, for its ability to be able to transport it up to the room and remain hot, and also for it to have those nutritional balances as well that people will have over 10 days. So really the main work that we've been doing is into the menu selection.
How are the rooms different, and what have you put in the rooms that are going to be different to how you would normally have them prepared?
Well, this is a very different operation for us. We're going from welcoming people into the entire hotel and all of the facilities and trying to get as many of those into the room as possible. So we've done a few things to try and make things a little bit more homely. So we've got crockery and cutlery in the room, so when people get their menu, which will be on a takeaway style serving, that they can then put it onto real crockery and cutlery and enjoy their meal as they would at home if they got a delivery, for example. We've also put some high street branded shampoos, conditioners and body washes as well, so it's a little bit more homely. And we've just made a few touches of electronic daily newspapers, games and puzzles for people to do, and just give them a few activities that they can have in the rooms. So we've tried to get some of the hotel services into the rooms as much as we can, so to hopefully people will enjoy their 10 days as well as having to have the quarantine.
And you mentioned about the sort of activities. How does it work with exercises, or if people want to come out and have a cigarette or a smoke during the time that they're staying here?
So security has been provided by government, so any movement outside the room is hugely restricted. The whole point of this is about reducing the spread of a virus, so people have to largely stay in their rooms. If people need to come out, there will be no smoking breaks permitted, and people will be allowed out on a needs basis. Should that be a requirement in relation to exercise? But that decision will be made by the security teams and our ability to actually manage the social distancing while that happens. There's also a priority level, so perhaps somebody with children would be treated as a priority as opposed to somebody wanting to come out and smoke.
And the other question I understand you've been working on as well is, how is the hotel ventilated? Because there have been concerns about having a centralised ventilation system, which would of course basically just spread the same air around all of the rooms. Yeah,
so part of the selection process by government when hotels were applying to go onto this scheme was about the air ventilation in the rooms. So each room has to have fresh air going into a specific room, circulated around that room, but not going back into the general system. So in order for any hotel to be part of the process, they must have that individual air conditioning system in place. Yeah, so we've got risk assessments for all of that. So in relation to the services in the room, all the services that we provide are at the door. If somebody wants extra towels, extra linen, anything like that, we'll provide it to the door. And any dirties coming out, such as rubbish or linen or towels, the guest calls down to say that they're dropping something outside. We double bag it, pick it up. In the case of laundry, we store it securely for 72 hours before it goes to the linen company, and for rubbish we store for 24 hours before it goes into the normal waste. In relation to laundry services that the guests might like, included as well is some
Yeah, they're sort of smalls.
Smalls, that's the word I'm looking for. In relation to guest laundry, if they want to get anything laundered themselves, we have that facility and that's included in the package as well. So they will leave that at the door. We double bag it. It is brought to the laundry company, which it is ionized. It is then laundered, folded and returned back to them in 24 hours. So we do have that service as well.
What about alcohol? Will people be allowed alcohol in the room?
Normal room service is available, and if they wish to buy anything from normal room service, they can do that. They also have the ability to use delivery companies. So it could be online delivery companies, it could be food delivery companies, and we will process that with the security team and drop that up to the room. So nothing will be collected, and everything we do will be at the door level for the guests.
What about welfare? How are you making sure that people are in a good mental state and physical state while they're staying in their rooms for 10 days?
Yeah, it's interesting. So there's two aspects to that. There's a hospitality aspect. So we will be calling every guest every day just to check if there's anything we can get them, is there anything we can do for them, if there's any concerns that they have. But in addition to that, there's also a welfare call provided by government to check on their mental health and their well-being, and they will deal with that with professionals. So there's 2 to 3 calls a day just to check in on people and see that they're okay.
And in terms of your staff, are your staff being tested, or what sort of security measures are in place to make sure that your staff are safe, given that some people who could be coming in here could have COVID-19?
So once the operation starts, this becomes an island site, and only residents and those working will be allowed into the hotel grounds. All staff will be tested every single day, and they'll also be doing a PCR test every 2 or 3 days as well. And that's for the security staff and also the hotel team, and that's just managed on a continual basis.